From the Opubco Studios in Oklahoma City, you're watching The Press Row. I'm Jenny Carlson here with Barry Trammell. It's time for our inbox. We're brought to you by Papa John's Pizza. You can go to papajohns.com and order your pizza right now. All right, Barry, let's get right to it with a question from Bob. He asked, will Blake Bell start another game for OU?
Well, the question becomes, is the question complete? If you're talking about at quarterback, no, I don't think he will. But all of Sooner Nation wants Blake Bell to move to tight end, so, maybe Bob Stoops will listen to him.
Is he the next Trey Millard?
I can't imagine that he is. No, I'm going to have to say no. Blake Bell has made his last start. I think everyone's sort of coming to grips with the fact that OU's trying to run an offense that's not suited to Blake Bell. It's time for Trevor Knight. If something happens tonight, I would assume they may go to Kendall Thompson now just to see what happens with Kendall running this offense. I think Blake Bell can be an effective quarterback. I've seen him play very well in two huge games, Notre Dame and Texas Tech. He's just running an offense that's not great for him.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think he will make another start at quarterback. And it's hard to believe because a year ago at this time, rewind a yeyear, and there were a lot of Sooner fans saying that he should be the starter over Landry Jones. And now there's a lot of people that I think are of Bob's, have the question Bob does, but have the answer in their own mind. He better not. I think there's a lot of people that just don't see Blake Bell as the quarterback of now or of the future. Maybe if he's no longer the starter, maybe they bring back the Belldozer in some situations. I thought there were some times this year where they could have used it. They haven't. Maybe they go back and bring it back a little bit with the offense. All right, back to the inbox. This one from Ken. He says, hey, does Trooper Orr have any eligibility left? Brian Orr, the guy who tackled the fan on the field.
The star of the show on Saturday, and the answer is no. He used it all up at UCO, where he was a 3-year starting linebacker for the Broncos. But I got to tell you, I liked Brian Orr's pass rush. He bore in on the unsuspecting quarterback and did not worry about a targeting penalty, did not worry about a fine from the NFL. He just cleaned the guy's clock. Now, I also thought it was an excellent tackle. Somebody in the press box said that was unnecessary, and I said maybe so, but it was completely appropriate. Stay off the field, or the peace officers of the good state of Oklahoma are going to take you to task.
Yeah, Brian Orr, by the way, is a bodyguard, essentially, for Bob Stoops on game day. So you've probably seen him before, and you might have noticed he's a pretty big guy. I think people will be on the lookout for him on Saturday to get another look at him. But, I've heard people talk about this hit, and I wasn't in the stadium, but it sounds like everybody that knew that Brian Orr was coming.
Everybody saw it coming.
Except the guy who was about to get whacked.
It was great. It was great. I got to tell you.
All right, back to the inbox. This one from Joel. He says, OSU is really good. I may be a prisoner of the moment, but I think this year's team could beat the 2011 team because this year's team is much better defensively and the quarterback can hurt you with his legs. Is that crazy talk, Barry?
The answer is yes. It is crazy talk. Somebody set Joel free from his prison. Listen, OSU's got an excellent defense. It's a good team. It's a fun team. They're getting better. They may win the Big 12. But this team is not as good as 2011. 2011 went toe-to-toe with big-time teams. That Stanford team that OSU beat in the Fiesta Bowl, that team could punch you in the mouth. That had Andrew Luck playing quarterback. And because of Whedon and Blackman, OSU got out there and went toe-to-toe with them and beat them in overtime. So, and that OSU team was very opportunistic on defense, had a lot of playmakers, plus it had the big tandem playing pitch and catch. So, love the 2013 team. They got a chance to win the Big 12. They're not as good as the 2011 team.
Yeah, I got to agree with you there. And Joel, I think you are just caught up in the moment, but that's okay because I do think that this Cowboy defense is better than the 2011 defense. I'll agree with you there, but I don't think it's leaps and bounds better than the 2011 defense. I think that 11 defense was really pretty good too. But the offense in 11, clearly better, clearly more consistent. Clint Shelf can beat you with his legs, but his arm isn't nearly the arm that Brandon Whedon has. That's the separation right there, what the Cowboys had offensively. So it's fun to think about, but that 2011 team was something special for the Cowboys. All right, lastly, Barry, Kent has a question. Who is Texas's coach next year?
It's a great question. I'm going to say David Shaw. Stanford coach. I think that's who the Horns like. I think that's the prototype. He's sharp. He's very sophisticated, very he's very smooth. Texans, University of Texans, don't like sort of raw-boned Art Briles types. They like their football coaches a little more genteel. Don't want them coming right off the cattle drive. Art Briles could have been in old westerns and been the sheriff or whatever in a lot of good John Wayne films. So I'm going to say David Shaw. I don't think it'll be easy to get him from Stanford, but I think after Nick Saban says no, I think that's the direction the Longhorns will go.
After the game on Saturday in Austin, Gina Mizell, our OSU writer, and I were talking about this very question, and that, A, do we think Mack Brown is the coach next year? And after Oklahoma State beat the Longhorns as bad as they've ever lost at home in the Mack Brown era on Saturday, and beat them pretty badly, I think that sort of rejuvenated the talk that Mack is really on the way out. I understand that there are some fairly big money donors in the Texas fan base that are still behind Mack. So it's not. I don't think it's a foregone conclusion, but I think it's definitely trending that way. So then we talked about, who would it be? And David Shaw was the guy we came around to too. Just that feeling that, University of Texas is not, and Austin is not like the rest of Texas. It's not sort of the Wild West, the open range. It's more East Coast transported into the middle of Texas. So I think they're looking for something a little bit more refined. And David Shaw, let's admit, he's a great football coach, and I think he'd be a good fit for the University of Texas. Hey, be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.